FM, man.
What do you think of the score?
I think it was a beautiful goal by Austin Martin. A little bit.
am ready to celebrate like that again.
And we have a lot of fun though, don't we?
Damn it. I mean, CLTFC fan TV for the fans, by the fans. Damn it. But like tonight I'm saying, damn it. Anyway, I'm JT. That's Lee. And that's Brian Bam Maurer, bringing the knowledge and the dope beard. It's down here. It's not up there. That's where it is. Welcome. Hey, if you've subscribed or not subscribed, please hit us up. We are the OG fan TV for CLTFC, etc., etc. We do this every Wednesday night at 9. And I gotta say, tonight I'm just, you know, I don't know. I'm distraught. How y'all feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. How about you, Brian?
I mean, I'm feeling down in some ways, but I'm also just amped up for a big rivalry match. I mean, there's a big opportunity here at home to just make up for both of those games. So like, hasn't gone their way so far, but like, I mean, that's why I'm wearing the black kit, right? I mean, I'm wearing the black kit because it's Melanda. Or just symbolizing blacking out that last game, washing slate clean, start at home fresh against Atlanta, and that they just leave it there, just leave it where it lies. That's kind of where my mentality is about that game. Those, especially the errors.
And like we were saying too, it's like we didn't. Whatever, they obviously won scoreboard,
Yep.
but my gosh, we gave it to them.
Yep.
I mean,
Absolutely.
we literally was like, hey, let us work out our own problems, and as we're working it out, you're going to win this game.
Yep.
It was brutal. It wasn't. Yeah.
Hey, so before we get started, real quick, our friend Adam from Defend the Queen is giving away a picture of walks since we're playing Atlanta, since it kind of made sense. So somebody already knows the. I tell you what, if you've been here long enough, you'll know what the hashtag is. How about that? We'll put, and I'll tell you maybe later on the end. I don't know. Yeah.
Did you see the one hashtag?
Which one?
Is it hashtag Conti in Conti
man,
in?
see, like, I'm skipping these comments, man. Like, you know those Atlanta fans that got to troll, man. So this is not a Spurs fashion moment for an hour. So yeah, let's talk about St. Louis and Charlotte. And yeah, I see some of y'all are figuring it out. So what a shit game, man. How unlucky were we? Were we unlucky?
It wasn't shit until after they scored their first goal, or we scored their first goal for them.
Yeah.
Everything was great. Everything was great. Enzo, and he barely nicked it from Swiderski. Two people were like, y'all get together and do something. And they did it.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, he just went.
Well, yeah. I mean, go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, and I just feel like they emotionally kind of, always emotionally and mentally just kind of collapsed a little bit after that, especially after the second one when they went down 2-1. It seemed like they were really, at that point is when they were really just seemed like they just spent a lot more time focusing on the refs and just like yelling at them. And I mean, Westwood's yellow I think was a little out there because he seemed out of the players on the field for Charlotte probably one of the more cooler heads. But like Enzo was spending a lot of time running his mouth a lot, and I feel like Melanda seemed like he lost his cool in the first half when he got his yellow too, which I felt like was really uncharacteristic of him. And maybe that maybe played a role as to his lapse in concentration later on in the game, just because I just felt like a lot of players sort of were losing it a little bit, especially once those goals started going against you. And then you see how unlucky those types of goals are. And you're just like, man, this game is just against us. And I feel like the players kind of embodied that a little bit too much. The subs coming on helped like a lot. And I really felt like we were still going to come away with an equalizer when Nuno and Vargas came on. They looked so good. Like so good. Nuno's passing was just so crisp. And then unfortunately Melanda puts in just like out of all the players on the field, the most uncharacteristic back pass like of any player I would have on the out of Charlotte FC to make that play. I would not have predicted it to be him. And that's just kind of where we are, That's just how that game ended up panning out. But the first 30 minutes, you couldn't ask for more. I mean, you had to fend off the away team. Like you're going into their, emotional environment. It's their inaugural match. You got to fend off their attack. Cisniega made the big saves he had to make. And then they scored the goal, and everything was kind of in control after that. And then the ball just bounced against them from there.
Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, after that goal, I thought, hey, man, we're going to silence the crowd, take it to the half, go in 1-0 up, which somehow we end up going 2-1 down. And then, yeah, man, I mean, shit. I mean, like we've said a couple of times, we thought we traded away on goal, but apparently he snuck back in.
2-1 down, Lee.
That's what I said.
He said 2-0 down because I know what nil means now.
I meant to say 2-1. I was thinking 2-1.
Yeah,
I was thinking we didn't score.
But still the whole right before it was 3 minutes of stoppage time for the first half, and then Swiderski. What? Someone help me understand. He's obviously in a defensive mode. He's just back there. Did he just have his hand out and he wasn't thinking like a defensive player should think, or was he just? It was just bad luck and he turned quickly and hit his left hand.
I mean, combination of both. I mean, he definitely had his arm out a little bit because, as soon as the play happened live, I definitely thought it was.
It wasn't like
it was like his elbow.
He was out, but he was like
he just looked like he was. Like how JT looks when he's ice skating and just about to bust his ass.
Yeah. I think what was more unfortunate in those situations is just his arm was a little bit extended. Not fully or anything, but the issue is just when you're in a close proximity to a player crossing the ball like that. I mean, you're kind of you're stuck in a bad situation where it becomes really lucky because you're not going to react fast enough to get your arm out of the way. Because he was 10 feet away from him.
Change that rule though to that point, right? It's like if it was too close to be able to react, they sort of overlook, unless it was obviously your goalkeeper coming out, right? Sort of thing. But to me, I feel like it was too close to him for him to really be able to do anything.
I don't think he was even facing it though, right? He was to his backside or whatever, or maybe he turned a little bit, but still. Yeah, so right before the end of the half, you got the penalty, and Jesus, it was what is happening?
That was a good penalty. I got to give him that.
Yeah, no, Lewin is he's legit. They got a good midfielder in him. I think he's very, very good. Yeah, but and he took that penalty. Nobody in the world is stopping that. So,
right.
Top netting like that. I mean, yeah, that's just a perfect.
Would it almost be a top bin?
Yeah, it would. That would be a top bin.
Just wouldn't be a top bin 90. It would be like a top bin 78.
I didn't say 90. I was just asking, would it be a top bin?
Yeah.
If you've never watched us before, I've played soccer in high school. I know some stuff about it. I like soccer. Kids play soccer.
Yeah.
Down with Charlotte FC, but there's a lot of things I don't know. Like these guys who are really into soccer. So, yeah.
Yeah, you nailed it.
It was turning away, and it's unfortunate. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. So let's talk some positives. JT, man, what did you think about some positives of the game?
Let me look at my list, Lee. Thanks for throwing it to me.
Yeah, got you, man. Over to you, JT.
Well, I'm thinking, we saw Bronico in the back left. We were all surprised by that. And I thought, although to other people's point, Bam and other people, the bunching in the middle is still not good. We're either defending on the wings or bringing stuff up the wings. It's always on the wings. However, Bronico on the back left wing kind of midfielder, I don't know, what would you call that, a sweeper? I don't know what you would even call it, but kind of coming up more. I liked seeing him in that position. It seemed to hold the defense together, but why was he there in the first place? I don't know. It was a positive that he was there and it worked out. That's all I'm saying.
It's like you were positively making a negative.
Jesus, man. Let's spin this to a positive place, man.
I'm trying to. You lost me somewhere.
Spring is happening. Flowers are coming out. It's cool, Lee. Damn.
I know, but now the weather's going to be cold this weekend. Well, it'll be good football weather. Again. So I'll take that. Yeah.
It's an early game, too.
Was that the only positive you got, JT?
Not the only one.
All right, give us another one.
Jesus Christ, man.
The hot seat. He's on the hot seat.
Oh, all right, hot seat. That first save by Cisniega was badass. When he went to the right, and again, like people have said, the body for it, whatever. Just his frog leaping ability, just going out there full all fours. It was a great save.
Yeah. I don't know why y'all need me. JT's got all my notes, man.
I know. Well, he said he was coming back from Greensboro earlier, right? Something about ACC. No, I was giving that to Sam.
I don't know who you're giving it to. That's what I'm saying.
Sam. Yeah, I'm trying to skip over these Spurs comments and just.
Hey, let me just take one quick break because I'm so thirsty because I was on the hot seat. Okay. Right now, I'm going to drink a Wicked Weed Coastal Love, one of their newest beers. So good. Hazy IPA 6.7. It's where I want to be. Or 6.3. If your partner is busting, or your friend or whoever the hell you're with is busting your balls about positivity in a world of negativity on the soccer pitch, have yourself a Wicked Weed and everything's going to be okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. I love
Talk amongst yourselves, Lee.
We are. Pretty much that's what we do, man. Yeah. Enjoy that Budweiser, apparently.
It's not a Budweiser, man. It's a Wicked Weed Coastal.
Yeah. Go ahead, Brian, man. Tell me some positives, man.
I just love how he was talking about the positivity of Lee, and then he tried to ring the bell, and it just was like dying.
I know, right?
Just not having it,
man. But yeah, I mean, JT covered it with Bronico. I think he definitely connected well. I think he specifically helped Uzviak really come into his own a bit in that game.
I agree.
I mean, it's one game, so I would say it's definitely far from definitive, but I would say like that was one of the better performances I've seen from Uzviak, and I would say that there could easily be a connection between him and Bronico connecting on the left side a decent amount. I think Shinyashiki helped him out as well. He was connecting well from deeper positions, I feel like, but then where I struggled with Shinyashiki was when we needed him to make those like really like final third passes to put somebody in on goal. He was a little bit slow to make the correct decision there. And so there was multiple times when Shinyashiki had the ball in those spots driving forward. And I was like, man, if Swiderski had the ball at his feet right now, or Nuno Santos, would really be a game changer there. Enzo Capetti's finishing. I mean, we see now why they brought in Enzo, right? I mean, he's efficient. He doesn't need a lot of touches, and he can still score goals. He had like 2 touches before he got that header. And I mean, it's one look at goal, 1 goal. And so, I mean, that's what we should expect from Enzo. I mean, that's what he was doing in Argentina. So, I mean, the key to the story then is we've just got to get him service. You got to get him service, because if you get him the ball in the box, he's going to put it away. So that just has to happen a lot more. They got to find a way to get him the ball and in the box specifically. So I think that was the other big positive. We started to see his efficiency. Cisniega was another one. I think, honestly, a lot of people I've seen a lot of people give Jones a decent amount of shtick post-match. And I don't think this was his best performance in terms of what he was doing with the ball at his feet, which is, I think, what we expect him to be really good at in terms of just being able to control the ball, be stable with it, be strong with it, and be able to fend off defenders. But what I felt like he did really well was, like, Bronico got beat a couple times because he's not a natural left back. He's a D mid. And Jones was always there, realizing that there was, his alarm bells were ringing, and he got into those positions to kind of stem off those attacks. And I think his positioning overall, he was, and why people maybe didn't notice it, was he was finding the fires before they were starting and putting himself in position to put them out before they even got lit. And I think that is what Jones did really well in this game. And I think it's one of his underrated traits. And so I think that also is just something that should be noted, because if you do keep Bronico on the left, I think Jones has to stay out there, because he can prevent some defensive liabilities that might come with it. Because I think if you keep Bronico on the left, the idea is that you really push him forward to continue connecting with Uzviak on the left. That would be my guess as to why that is he's out there. Plus, he's just also is a player who's capable of working hard enough to get back and forth. So I think Jones would have to be out there if Bronico stays left. What's up, JT?
No, Lee's trolling me because I put my hand up. No, I just remember something we talked about during the game, and it just made me think of it. And a good point is, what about Cisniega communicating with the backfield? Because that was one part we were like, remember,
that's
Lee,
not
we were
a
like,
positive.
why isn't he
That's not
talking?
a
Why isn't
positive.
he
We're
talking?
on the positive side of things right now, JT. We'll go
Oh,
negative.
I'm sorry. You got me. I mean, my alkalinity is kind of messed up in my mouth right now. I guess I'm on the negative side, man. You done spun me that way, mother.
I know it.
All I'm telling you is, don't crank me one way and crank me the other. I'm just asking because it makes a point now that we're talking about the defense.
Yeah.
How does Cisniega play into it, communicating with Bronico left back, and then Jones covering his ass with his speed, and Bronico can go up a little more and play that back midfield?
Yeah, so it's kind of two different questions there. So the communication between Cisniega and the center backs is going to be, I mean, I think the issue I had with it is, this is even before the goals started going in against Charlotte, was it seemed like Malanda and Cisniega were going in for clearances a lot, like at the same time. And ideally Cisniega, one of them is calling the other off. And so you're not getting into these situations where you almost are colliding. And so that was where like that alarm bell started ringing for me. What Jones will be doing is, so Cisniega should be communicating regularly with both of the center backs. Jones will ideally be kind of like the buffer, protecting that back line. So if Bronico goes forward and he gets beat like he did against one of St. Louis's attackers, Ostrak, he just burned him down the left on one really good dribble, just burned Bronico, but Jones covered that space in behind and covered that play so that instead of him just having a free run in towards the box, Jones was ahead of the play and was able to kind of stop his run at the edge instead of it getting all the way in. So essentially what Jones is going to do, and what he does so well that I think gets overlooked, because essentially what he's doing is stopping a play from developing. So you don't actually see him doing performing a full action in terms of, you're not actually seeing a play develop. You're just seeing him cover the space, and then the play stops, and then they have to kind of either recycle the ball or, make another decision.
He's a backstop.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like a wall. He's like Bronico can do whatever he ever has to do, and Jones can just stay back there or whatever and backstop it and then pull it back.
See, I kind of agree with this comment here, right? We seem to struggle in transition, right?
Yeah.
And possibly chemistry or not, who knows? But we do seem to sort of slow it down, wait for the other team to get back in position, and then give them the ball or give them a chance. I wasn't super thrilled with Andre this week. I think personally, I think he had a very terrible game. Good seeing obviously Bronico doing his thing. It doesn't matter where. I bet you if we put him in goal, he'd have a great game too. And then, him being left back, solid game. Jaws had a great game, I thought, man, and I feel like he was the build up to our first goal, right? Jaws to Carroll and then to Capetti. So
DP.
Yeah, so he's
it's like he got the message.
Hopefully he can sort of do. Yeah, he got the message. But then there was a question, how do we get Nuno and Carroll on the field at the same time, right? Does Nuno go into that?
So, I've seen a lot of, this has been, I think, probably the hottest question since the game. And for me, I would just keep it really simple, not change a whole lot. And I would just swap out Andre for Nuno. And that's how I would fix it. Like that, if we were trying to get Nuno on the field and be the creative option, Andre just wasn't the creative option in transition. Like I said, and again, it's not necessarily, I think that's the one tactical decision with the lineup changes that Lattanzio got wrong. Because Andre Shinyashiki didn't do what he doesn't, he did what he does well, right? Which is work hard, defend a little bit, put in for a hard tackle, make a transition happen. But what he is in the role he was given was be the attacking midfielder, which means he also then has to direct the attack and make the correct decision quick enough to where we have a good position and a good shot on goal. And that's not really what I've seen his strength be at all, And so he's never really been a creative passer, or especially at the level that I think Charlotte is missing. And so I think that's just a straight swap. And then I don't mind Carroll being on right now, Carroll being in the attacking mid or right wing, positionally right now, that's not the issue for me with Carroll. Right now, Carroll's just a little off. And I don't think it's mid or right wing is the issue. I think Carroll's just some of his touches and some of his passes, his cross in, the whipped in swinger for Capetti for the goal was, beautiful. And he actually made a few other really nice passes early on in the second half too. He just also had some really bad touches as well. And I feel like right now he's just a little off. So I don't know if him being in the cam role or the right wing is the deciding, definitive factor at this point. Right now, what we need is Carroll to just get on his game. And so I think for me, that's the simple way to get Nuno on the field is to just put him in that role. I'm fine with Carroll at the right wing. I think I would still prefer him more centrally, but if that's a solution to get Nuno and Carroll on the field, I'm also fine with that. Because right now, I mean, I'm dying to see Nuno from the start just to see what happens.
That hitter that Nuno did at the end that almost scored, like when he did like a full-on dive.
Yep.
That was badass.
And then, I mean, 10 minutes before the pass he put into Westwood was just on a plate. Yeah. Just on a plate. It was too good. I think it just jarred Westwood into tripping over his own feet. It was so good.
I think it's all going to come together. I just, whatever. It always is. And it just sucks that we lost both games. And
well, I just think Andre's better used as a sub in the 70th minute.
Yeah.
Personally, that's when he seems to. He does whatever, and then all the fans start saying, "Why are we not playing Andre?" So I feel like we saw why he doesn't start. Again,
those passes in the 55th minute, dude, they were woefully short. Short. His long passes in the 55th, 60th. I mean, we're talking an entire line's worth of defensive lines worth short, 20 yards, some of them, and they were just that was painful for me to watch at that point in his game because he didn't have a terrible first half. I felt again, he just did what he does, he played to his strengths, which just I feel tactically how they set up wasn't what Charlotte needed, and so they just are desperate for some creativity in the final third and some just cutting edge passes that put somebody in on goal, and that's just not what Shinyashiki's strength is at all. I think last year he had an expected assist 0.02 per 90 minutes or something. That's just not what he does, He
goes straight at it.
I think
ding, 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 ding.
I think everybody's on the same page, though. I think we all want Nuno to start. I think seeing him come in to start, I think it'd be interesting, right? At least get the man a shot because I feel like he's got the talent. It's just a matter of doing it. So yeah. So let's move forward to the Atlanta game. We're gonna bring Tyler in from. What's up, Tyler? How's it going, buddy?
How's it going, guys?
All right, man.
Tyler.
So before we get going, if you want to win the painting from Defend the Queen of Walks, since we're playing Atlanta, it just makes sense. Hashtag rigged in the comments will get you entered into that. And yeah, man. So that's it. Tyler, man. What's going on down there in the South?
It's not that much further south.
I know, it's in the South.
Well, souther.
Right now it's the pollen.
Souther.
Is that a word?
Trying to kill us all, I think.
Oh, we got some teachers in the comments. Maybe they'll tell us. Is souther a word? Yeah. But yeah. So how's Atlanta doing, man? Y'all ready for ass whooping?
We'll see. We'll see what happens. We never know what's going to happen when Atlanta comes, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, and are you coming up?
No, I won't be able to make it to this one, unfortunately. We had thought about it, but we also have the little kids rec season starting as well this weekend. So I have a game an hour before kickoff between Atlanta and Charlotte. So I'll be literally jumping on Apple TV right when we get started.
Hey, everybody. Way to be good father, Tyler.
I try.
Straight up. You know what I'm saying? Choose that shit sometimes over your games, everybody.
Nah.
Let's keep on going.
Nope, ain't gonna happen. Nope, just don't sign them up.
That is a surefire way
to they can't have a game to go to, man. Simple. Y'all get y'all's priorities right, man. Man. Trying to come off all righteous on this show, man. What the hell just happened?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Lee. I'm sorry.
Yeah, man. See, people get it.
Right? Hey, I will say this, Tyler, as we laugh, of all the videos I ever did of all the fan reactions last year, I mean, the shit is real with the rivalry between Atlanta and Charlotte. And, little brother, little sister, whatever, us to you, You're the big brother, bigger, blah, 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 whatever. But man, remember that, Lee? Fans were walking behind you and they started talking real shit. I mean, usually everyone in the MLS community is cool. Everyone's like, you're jabbing, you're talking some shit. But they're like, no, it's like, carry your ass back down for it. Let them get on 85. Screw you. I mean, shit was real. It got real salty. Anyway,
it's turned into a proper rivalry real quick.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna get crazier. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I mean, it won't be like Orlando. I mean, those fans down there are just straight up morons.
Get me started on Orlando.
Yeah.
Florida's a different place.
That's it. But yeah, man. So what can we expect from Atlanta this weekend, Tyler? Man, if you were putting the players out and that sort of thing.
So I mean, the main one, obviously, you gotta keep an eye on is Thiago Almada. Went to the World Cup. He was last minute, essentially a sub brought in because of injuries for Argentina. But I mean, the kid's a player, and he's by far the one that you have to keep an eye on. He can make something out of nothing. He did it week 1 against San Jose. In stoppage time, scored the game tying and game winning goals, both outside the box. I think the biggest thing this season is Atlanta's finally developing some chemistry. So it's 2 games in. Call chemistry what you want, but they've actually had somewhat of a consistent starting lineup going forward, and that's something Atlanta didn't have last season at all because of all the injuries. So, admittedly, on my own podcast, I've called out a couple of the midfielders in the preseason that I just didn't think needed to be playing together anymore, and they've shut me up completely in the first 2 matches of the season, and I'm here for it. Mateus Rossetto and Franco Ibarra. So that midfield of those 3, Ibarra, Rossetto, and Almada, are going to be, I think, key in this match in determining kind of how it plays out, especially in the beginning.
Yeah, definitely. And it's going to be interesting to see. Like you said, I think I know us here in Charlotte still having that inconsistent lineup. That chemistry's sort of missing, the slow build up of play. I mean, we can go on and on and on. But Brian, man, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Thiago Almada is absolutely the threat. I think that's still maybe one of Charlotte's advantages in this game. If that is in a strange way, Charlotte FC, at least at home, tends to neutralize attacking midfielders and playmakers decently well. At least they did a lot last year. Carlos Hill scored a goal, but it was on a penalty. Driussi was kind of neutralized when Austin came to Charlotte. So Charlotte has a tendency to kind of neutralize the middle defensively at home and force a lot of the play wide. But I don't think that necessarily plays as a disadvantage to Atlanta because of the way they use their fullbacks. So I think Brooks Lennon and Gutman come into play big time in this game in terms of how they push forward. Because I think the goal will be, can we neutralize Thiago Almada, force them to go wide with Brooks Lennon and Gutman, and then catch them out from behind because Brooks Lennon and Gutman are going to want to drive forward anyway, and that's where the gaps are going to be. And so whether or not Charlotte can actually take advantage of those, I think that's the big question, because that's also been where Charlotte don't attack well from, right? I mean, we saw it in the first game against New England. We sent a ton of crosses in from wide that just didn't go anywhere. And so I think that for me is like the big play. And then it's just a matter of, can Charlotte turn up the heat earlier and stop like kind of feeling teams out? They're coming to Charlotte. Home field advantage needs to be played in terms of turning up the heat at home and making Atlanta kind of feel it a little bit early on. I think that's my big keys.
Yeah, for sure. So a question for you. How do you feel about Miles Robinson? Is he back to his normal self?
So we actually made a comment up in the press box last Saturday that Miles, to me, the guy looks like he's more athletic than he was before he had his injury. Of course, it's a devastating injury, and you never know how people are going to recover from something like that. And I mean, if you're a U.S. men's national team fan, then you're thrilled to hear that. I mean, and Atlanta has to take advantage of Miles while they have him, because I don't think he's going to be sticking around. At the end of the season, his contract's up. Kind of feel like it's going to be him just leaving on a free, which is unfortunate. But for this match, for the beginning of the season, I mean, I think Miles, he's come out and totally surprised me 100%, because there was a couple of just sketchy moments that he ended up in, especially in this last match, not from his own doing necessarily, but he was able to dig Atlanta out of a hole because of his athleticism and his speed. And you can't ask for more coming off of a devastating injury like he had last season.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I mean, injuries, you never know how they're going to come back, right?
Yeah.
And I know you guys had a bunch. We had some key players get injured right there towards the end of the season too. That's hurting us as well. So we'll see. But yeah, these people are talking about 50,000 Atlanta fans coming up.
We're bringing them all.
Yeah. I mean, anybody's looking for a reason to get out of Atlanta,
cousins,
right?
And their cousins.
And their cousins, yeah. But no,
it's a good crowd though overall.
Yeah, but no, seriously, talking about the fans coming up real quick, man, you guys do some sort of program where you don't have to pay for the away tickets or something?
Yeah, so that's something they started this year,
Right.
and I don't know how widespread it is throughout the league, but yeah, like
I think
season
it's
ticket
just you
holders.
guys.
Do what?
I think it's just you guys because we have to pay for our tickets if we want to go away.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I don't know. I mean,
That
as far as
ain't
the
gonna give
details
us
from
that
Atlanta
money.
side, you just if you're a season ticket holder, you get I think a certain amount of matches where you get to go, and that's part of your season ticket package. And of
Yeah.
course,
It's a nice
Charlotte's a big
benefit,
one.
man.
What?
Yeah.
Nashville's a big one.
Yeah.
What?
Orlando. Yeah.
Hold on. Tio.
No,
You're
it's
telling
cheap.
me as a season ticket holder, you also get X amount of away tickets if you want to claim them?
Yep.
God.
Yep. Part of the package that they've got.
Holy
Okay, big brother Atlanta, all the time.
Like I got to give it to Arthur Blank, man. The guy knows how to throw some money around for sure.
Hey, you know who
I
knew?
mean, it's cheap down there too, though. I give him that too. Like the concessions is pretty cheap too,
Yeah.
man. I mean, you can get a hot dog, a pizza and a beer and everything under what we pay for one beer.
You feed your family at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Like a lot of people, normally I think you would go out to eat before you go to a sporting event just to save money, but take your whole family to the Benz and eat dinner there and watch the game. And that's something they're doing right for sure.
Is that how they do it for Falcons games too? Like, is like Falcons games the same concession prices, or is it changed between the two?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's for the Falcons. It's for they have so many events in the Benz, so many, and those don't change.
What they don't tell you though is the food that you're eating in that stadium is the food that they throw away at the grocery stores that never sold. So
they get it. They get it from the Kroger, the Murder Kroger down the street.
Yeah. No, I seriously doubt we'll ever get cheap food, cheap beer, or free tickets with David Tepper being in charge.
It's something we've gotten lucky with.
I talked to DT before the game the other day. He patted me on. He patted me on my belly. He's like, "Hey, JT." No, he didn't say that, but he did pat me on my belly. Nonetheless, I know the man, and I'm telling you right now, DT. I call him DT. I said, DT, we got to get those prices down on concessions because Atlanta is kicking our ass, and that ain't cool. So guess what? Starting Saturday, and this is the weird part I do want to bring up. Why is the game so early? So starting Saturday morning, it's on.
Yeah, I think we got like 2 or 3 games. The problem is like, do you go out Friday night and have a good time, or do you just stay in and?
I would definitely do Friday night, roll it to Saturday morning, and by like 4:00 in the afternoon, crash hard.
On Saturday.
Back up Saturday night and then leave on Sunday morning.
Yeah, I mean that's my plan.
Mine too.
Have a good weekend.
I think it should be good. Yeah. So, I mean, Brian, what do we need to do, man, this weekend to stop Atlanta from ruining our weekend?
It's all about Thiago Almada. I mean, I think that's where. I mean, depending on who plays in the D-mid, do they keep Bronico at left back like they did last week, or do they keep Jones at the D-mid position? But whoever is there is going to need to find ways to neutralize Thiago, because at this point, I mean, he's been involved in all of Atlanta's goals so far. And, I mean, they've had other chances for sure, especially I think in the last match. I mean, it seemed like they got a little lucky against San Jose in the first week. But then it seemed like they got a little unlucky against Toronto, especially with like that GG's offsides he looked very onside in that one. And so it seemed like the luck was switched from week 1 to week 2, but regardless, Thiago Almada is pretty much at the center of it all. And so I think if Charlotte can neutralize him in the middle in some way, at least limit him from being as effective as he has been of late. I mean, that's going to be such a huge key. And then again, I think it just really comes down to energy. Like Charlotte came out in week 1, I really expected with the passing of Anton Walks and how just much emotion was kind of building up leading up to that game. I really expected Charlotte to come out and just overwhelm New England with the emotional just feelings that were going to be that existed in that place as the game started and as the tifo went up and everything. And that just wasn't the case at all. They came out really sluggish for me. And that just, I feel like that just can't happen at home, right? We also kind of let a 17-year-old homegrown kid in Noel Buck from New England kind of have his way at times. And that can't be acceptable at home. Like 17-year-old homegrowns can't have like their breakout game in Charlotte. Like if that's going to be a fortress again this year, and he also made the key play to get the goal that lost him the game. So I think there's just that energy has to be there to make Atlanta uncomfortable and play them off their game. I think Charlotte has to dictate that early and show that that's how it is in Charlotte. Those are for me the 2 big keys for sure.
Coming out fast.
Huh?
Coming out fast.
Yeah, 100%. And be willing to go down 1 to come out fast and really try to push for that early goal. Because that's a lot of times where Charlotte succeeded last season was they would get a goal in the first 15 minutes at home. I mean, obviously it wasn't always they still lost a couple of those games when Yordi Reyna scored early, but I mean, that kind of became, I felt like kind of a big factor for Charlotte was that they would put up a goal within the first 15 minutes and really kind of put teams under pressure and be like, oh man, we're already behind. And it's only been 8 minutes. And so I feel like that needs to be, and it gets the crowd back into it, right? Because I feel like the crowd could also be a little sluggish at first, just because it's noon and it's not a normal time for a game. And B, they were coming off of 2 pretty bad looking losses in terms of just the plays that happened. I don't think Charlotte played as bad as a 3-1 scoreline against St. Louis, but the plays that were scored on, those plays did not look great.
And it's going to be cold. It's going to be cold.
Yep.
Yeah, cold is coming back. It's supposed to be, I bet by kickoff it's going to be 43 degrees or something.
Yep.
Maybe windy as hell. So I'll take it though. Remember, y'all, when it's really cold and all that kind of stuff,
drink more beer.
About that when it's super hot and thunderstorms are shutting down games, and it sucks that way.
So here's an interesting question for the masses. If we lose this weekend, does Latanzio start to feel the hot seat? I think it's a little too early to be thinking about that personally. But with that being said, somebody's got to take the blame at some point, right? I mean, that would be 5 in a row we would have lost if you go back to last season as well, if my math's right.
4. It would be 4 losses and then 1 draw that felt like a loss because that was the draw against Columbus that knocked us out of the playoffs.
Right. Yeah.
So definitely it was a draw that felt like a loss for sure. So, But yeah, I mean, that's been how it's ended. I do feel like right now, I just don't know how much another coach would make a difference, right? I mean,
I don't think it would.
There's no coach that can be like, all right, Melanda, don't make that back pass to the forward in the box. There's no coach those are really standard things. So
I'm glad you brought that up because I was trying to describe because people were asking me about the game this past weekend, and I was like, from what I remember, Melanda basically, the ball got played to him from Cisniega. And then he looked. One of the other players from the other team came up behind him, and then he got kind of spooked by that. And then he went to pass it back quickly, not ever seeing Klaus there at all. It's like his brain was like if the other player wasn't or forward for the other team wasn't coming up, St. Louis wasn't coming up beside his left shoulder, he never would have played it back. It's like he just felt that pressure and quickly went back and was like, "Oh shit." There's Klaus right there, and that was that.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think it was just a shitty pass, and he just – I don't know. Well, it is what it is. We're putting that to rest. That's history. That's Charlotte history now.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Yeah, we're moving on, man, to greener pastures.
Hold on. It'll work.
Greener, turfy pastures.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely had tunnel vision on that pass.
Yeah.
Either way, right? So, yeah.
Hey,
And yeah, I
real
mean, this
quickly,
is true too. In a perfect world, sometimes a part of me questions that too. With Pablo passing it to him to begin with, if he was already under pressure, why don't you just? We never just sort of booted out the box, right? We always continue to play out the box, and we dive by that. I mean, I know that's how Latanzio wants us to play, but sometimes you just got to kick it and just spread the field a bit, in my opinion.
Yeah, so that could be lack of cohesion, right? I mean, that's where I honestly expected us to see kind of that. I think what happened was in week 1, I went into week 1 thinking backline's going to struggle, right? I mean, Anton Walks just passed away. They signed in a new center back. Like, it's a little bit of like lack of cohesion in terms of just new faces. Pablo Cisniegas taking over as a starter because Kalina's got back surgery, right? So all these kind of.
I think Pablo starts over Kalina regardless.
But what I'm saying is like, but there's like a lack of cohesion in terms of like they hadn't played together a whole lot, right? So and then you're also starting into a new year, and so I expected them to start off slow. That didn't happen. They played, the back line played tremendous, I feel like, against New England, and so then it flipped for a lot of people, including me, being like, okay, the back line's locked in, we're good. We just got to figure out how to create. And I think what happened in week 2 in some regards was also like our backline showing a bit of their true colors in terms of like they still have some cohesion and some working out to do. And I think that just comes down to playing together more, and just figuring out when to do what when, and I think that just takes reps. I hope the backline, we see very limited changes along the backline as long as they're healthy.
Want to go left back again?
I'm fine with that. I would be fine with Bronico at left back for sure. I just want center back to be the same regardless for sure, and then probably still burn it right back. I just want to see that unit grow together because that's what Charlotte didn't have at all last year, and so I just would like to start seeing that happen. And any successful team has cohesion along the back line that sticks. And I mean, Atlanta, and Tyler can speak for this in Atlanta. I mean, that was probably one of the huge downfalls was when all the injuries started having a center back. I mean, you just lose your cohesion, you lose your stability there, and that's what has made Philadelphia so good for years now. It's just like they have the same guys in all the time along that back line, and it's just like it's an automatic.
And that's where the mistakes started to come in for Atlanta last season. There were so many. Honestly, if it weren't for the individual mistakes that came from not having any cohesion last year, Atlanta would have, they would have squeaked in, but they would have made the playoffs. Yeah. And you look at so many instances last season where it was just one little mental, switch off that cost them a point or 3 points or whatever. And that's what happens when you're not playing with the same guys. And it's really important. I mean, we always talk about the attack in terms of knowing where, another player is going to be without having to think about it as much. But the back line, it's almost more important because if you don't have that chemistry back there, it is going to be a long day, no matter how good you are individually, because at some point your midfield is going to get beat, and it's going to be up to the 2 or 3 or however many that are playing on that back line to pick up pieces. And if you don't know your guys like that, it's going to be a long evening.
Did we see Lindsay play this week?
No. I would keep burning. I mean, like I just said about cohesion, I'm fine with. I haven't had the major issues that a lot of people have had with burn.
And then again, I mean, the thing is, it just seems every week we have a lineup change.
Yeah.
Like I just don't feel like we know what our best 11 is or where to play our best 11.
That begs the question: how long does it take to figure out your best 11? And I wasn't saying no start Lindsay. I was just like, we didn't see him last week, but how long does it normally take? With it, this is our now.
Personally, I think Latanzio has had plenty of time to figure out his best 11. We got some new players in that's going to plug in certain spots, which were upgrades, in my opinion. So, I mean, ideally, we should have our starting lineup, and we should pretty much be able to tell what it is week in, week out. But we don't. We always get like a left back of Bronico, So it's
So you can't even right now. Damn.
Fucking bell's working now.
Yeah.
Man, my bell's always working, dog.
Is it? You sure about that?
Yeah. I mean, that's
of course it is, man. Oh,
yeah.
That's why I think the only change I would make personally is just Andre for Nuno and just keep everything else the same. I do 100%. Think that change is a change that should be made because I think there is a desperate need to try to find more creativity going forward.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm fine with where everyone else has played and kind of what else everybody else has been doing until, and we obviously need more from Carroll, but I mean, there's no other way to get more from him besides continuing to just keep him on the field. So that just has to come down to he's got to flip that switch and get back into gear like he did at the end of last season. And but Nuno for Andre is the only switch I would really make this week.
I think this is a great comment right here. It feels like Latanzio was reading the Facebook groups and picking weird posts to model his lineups after. The thing is, if that man is willing to go into Facebook and just listen to all that bullshit and all negativity, man, then good for him, man. So yeah. So
dark cloud over there.
Yeah. So it's nasty over there on Facebook. I thought Twitter was bad, man. Facebook is just ridiculous.
That is hell on earth.
Yes, man. Especially Charlotte, man. It's
hell on earth.
Yeah, it's a mess. But to enter the giveaway tonight, it's hashtag rigged. And if you're new to the show, please hit the sub button for us. If you're a regular, hit the like button.
It's not rigged, by the way. Nothing's rigged. Just
it's all rigged. Oh, I thought. Are we rigging it tonight or not?
I'm sorry.
Last week we rigged it and gave it to Adam's wife.
I don't know. You tell me.
All right. I won't rig it this week, man. Let me do the unrigged. But no, it is.
When is Roscoe coming back on, Lee?
When is Roscoe coming back? In the background. He's in jail, man. The man's in jail.
So you know where he is now. Because you always say you don't know who he is.
No, I didn't. That was his neighbor.
Where's Roscoe, Lee?
His neighbor called.
Stop lying, Lee.
It's like my wife won't go over to Roscoe's because he's in jail or something. I don't know what's going on. It's a big conversation. I want to know part of it.
Look at his eye while he says that, folks.
Yeah.
Hashtag rigged.
Anyways, moving on.
I want to know what kind of beer that is.
Oh, do you?
You missed the commercial area. Go.
Well, this is a Wicked Weed Coastal Love 6.3% hazy IPA. Good enough to get you a little, but not so much that you can't talk on a live show on YouTube.
Hey, but it's good. It seems like it's been refilling itself. I've been watching since I got on.
Yeah, this is
one of those cups that fills from the bottom.
Don't go past 3, folks. Don't go past 3. This is number 2. Number 2.
Wicked Weed also makes our Five Stripes beer down in Atlanta, which is cool.
Nice.
Yeah. Sold at the stadium, for $30. Yeah, that's Teffer tax right there. Sure.
That's right.
All right, so let's do it, right? Score predictions. Y'all throw them up there in the chat too, man. So Tyler, since you're the guest on the show, man, we'll let you go first.
I know I'll get booed, but I literally my podcast as well, so I got to give the same one and be consistent. I'm going to say 2-0 to Atlanta.
2-0 away?
Yeah.
Going to the bank?
Yep.
Are you sure you haven't had more beers than JT tonight?
It's highly optimistic.
Only two. Wicked Weed, Coastal Love. Get at your local grocery store in the greater Southeast area.
Yeah. JT, what do you think is going to be, man?
You know what? Because I'm pretty much wrong most of the time. I'm going to go 2-2 draw.
All right. Who scores for Charlotte?
I'm thinking definitely Enzo and Sanchez. Enzo E. Sanchez.
All right. Tyler, who scores for Atlanta?
I said, I got to think about what I said now. I think I said Almada and our newcomer Yakimakis. I haven't been able to talk about him yet, but he's going to be the wild card, I think.
Yakimakis.
For everybody.
That's a cool. I like saying that.
Yakimakis. It's a fun one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yakimakis.
Do you think he starts this weekend?
Oh, man.
I think he comes on in the second half, at the beginning of the second half. I mean, he got probably more time. Like Coach Pineda, he said that he probably gave him a little more time than he meant to in this last match. I think they start Miguel Berry at striker, let him kind of see what he can do in 45, and then Yakimakis is fit. He can play, but I think he's one that for Atlanta's favor anyway, they want to bring on in the second half to try to just flip the game on its head if something, if they're trailing or whatever. So you never know what you're going to get, especially with a guy that's, he's had such great form a couple of years ago overseas, not bad at Celtic before he came to Atlanta. So I think every team in the league is going to be trying to figure him out early on too. But I think Atlanta also has to figure him out and how they're going to use him.
Makes sense.
Brian, score prediction.
So JT's got 2 beers, and I think as a symbol for 2 goals for Charlotte. So 2-0 Charlotte. That's the same prediction I gave on MLS Corner yesterday. I think Capetti gets 2.
Yeah, right. And I'm going to go with. Go ahead.
I was just going to say Capetti's got that passion.
Yeah,
he's really. I mean, he's like when he and Swiderski can just somehow put it together.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a boring 1-1. It's going to be Enzo's going to score for us, and it's just going to be one of those matches where just kind of second half, nothing's really going to happen, and then we just go home.
I'll take a point. I
really wouldn't mind seeing 3 points. I mean, the next 5 games.
Of course, but whatever, just something on the board. Something on the board. Jesus, if we come out with 0 points after 3 matches,
it's tough. It feels rough, that's for sure. Although I will say, like, in some ways, this has made this makes this because I've kind of been disheartened with the scheduling since Charlotte's come into the league in scheduling the Charlotte Atlanta matches so early. I feel like it would really behoove the rivalry if they were put on a little bit later in the season, because you could see like this animosity building when like NYCFC came to Charlotte, and like just because of how important that match was in like week was like 27 or something like that. They were both like they both had like playoff ramifications on the line, and so they were really chippy. And I think that would behoove the Atlanta Charlotte rivalry if they put it a little bit later. But this one feels like there's a little bit more on the line, specifically because of Charlotte's slow start and the expectations with them this year. So I'm excited about that for sure, because it seems like there's a little bit more on the line than I think the early matches last year, because Charlotte having no expectations and as a new expansion club league wide. And so I think this could help really heighten things, which is
I don't mind the first like Atlanta versus Charlotte being early in the season, like third or fourth game. It's the away leg, right? Or the home leg, whatever team you support.
Within like a month.
But, like last year, it was like it felt like we played both games within 6 weeks. And it was like, man, it would have been nice to have that like later in the season, like maybe about the last
even that
game,
point,
last
it's
5
so
games.
early.
What's that?
I mean, to have a game at noon. I mean, not even at 2 or 4. I mean, freaking A, it's so early in the season and so literally early in the day. I don't know, man.
What are we going to call this one? I mean, y'all probably talked about it before, but it keeps going around. Like, what is the name of this rivalry?
The derby. Yeah, what's the name of the derby? I don't know if we've officially called it yet.
I don't know. We should come up with something original that the NFL cannot take or whatever. We should really. This is the brain trust right here. Just everyone get your heads closer. Come on, get in closer to the camera. Come on, guys, get in closer to the camera. Come on, Lee.
I can't get that close to the.
You half-ass. All right, well, listen,
over there, man.
Listen. If Lee can't get close to the camera, I guess he just can't pull the full effort for what's happening on Saturday.
Oh, Jesus. Trust me, I will pull the full effort for Saturday.
I've heard a few good ones. One that was brought up by one of our radio announcers down here in Atlanta today, that he said he had saw was the Crown and Coke derby. Crown and Coke. So I was like, I'm on board with that.
That's not a bad one, actually.
That's a real good one. Crown and Coke.
Yeah, Crown and Coke, 85 Classico. But like we always say, though, man, there is one good thing that comes out of Atlanta, man, and that is 85 North. So I love that, man. I think Roscoe brought that to the table back in the day, man. So, Roscoe, if you're out there, man, let us know when you want to come back on the show. So
it's funny that Lee says that's one thing he likes, and then he says, "Oh, that came from Roscoe."
Roscoe was the one that originally said it.
Hey,
if you go back
you said it, and you knew that Roscoe said it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, he said it on our show.
Yeah, for sure, Lee. Sure.
Yeah, go back and watch some of our older episodes with Roscoe. Hear it. Yeah, if you haven't seen our old shows with Roscoe.
Slow it down. If you can put it in slow motion and see right when Lee's saying the words and hear what Roscoe says, and if it's matched up together.
All right, I'll find it. I'll post it on Twitter and all the socials, man. Damn it.
Lee
Right,
is Roscoe.
No, I'm Roscoe.
Yeah, for sure. It's
Definitely. Yeah, I really like the Crown and Coke, man. That's a good.
That's the best I've heard for sure.
Yeah, and
that
I
one
just
just
hate
felt
Atlanta
right
said
when it was mentioned earlier.
Damn it, Willie P, man. You got to come up with some of this shit before Atlanta does, bro. So that's our radio folks. So yeah, if you
we
haven't,
had Jess on our show earlier.
Oh, did you? That's
Yeah,
right. I forget Jess is Atlanta girl too, right? Or
Yeah,
she used to be.
I didn't realize that up
We
until
love
today
Jess.
she lives here still.
Yeah, she comes up.
Yeah, she's here in Charlotte, man.
That's a drive, man.
What's that?
Right.
I said that's a drive.
Yeah.
Especially coming through South Carolina where they're still working on 85 forever, like from Greenville through Spartanburg. It's a bastard drive.
Yeah, one of my co-hosts was talking about it. Everybody I've talked to about this game has been like, God, the freaking drive, man. I-85, they're always doing road work nonstop. Every
the
time
loser
I go
gets
up
South
there.
Carolina, man.
Oh, don't give me that crap. No. Y'all can keep South Carolina.
Y'all keep it. We're not.
Yeah, hold on a second.
What?
It's in the name.
Yeah. That's funny. So yeah, if you haven't entered and you want to win a picture of walks there from our friend at Defend the Queen, Adam, it's hashtag rigged. I'll give you guys some more seconds. Let's see if there's any off questions here. Everybody answered that one. Yeah, I believe there is still a sort of a Walks Memorial at the stadium, unless they took it away. I can't remember. Last time it was there last game. I know that much. I haven't been by the stadium since, so can't tell you honestly.
I think it's just smaller, but there's still, obviously someplace right there at the gates on the east side. I believe you can put something.
Yeah. So, all right, man. I'm gonna go ahead and do this drawing. Let me.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is.
Hey, Tyler, I can't wait to meet you in person down there one day.
Hey, come on down.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, that's the closest place. Shit, man.
I would love to be up there this time, but it just didn't happen. Wasn't in the cards.
All right. For the giveaway.
Hey,
NC
nice.
Congratulations. Hit us up on the socials and we'll get you in contact with Adam for sure. So it's still rigged.
What's congratulations in German? I'm trying to think. It's shit.
Congratulations.
No, I just can think of Albita Zane and I don't know other. Anyway, nonetheless, congratulations.
That's it. So with that being said, man, Tyler, we appreciate you being on the show today, man. If any of the Charlotte folks want to follow you, or if any of the Atlanta fans that snuck in here don't know how to find you, how can they?
For me personally, it's ATL Pilgrim at ATL Pilgrim on Twitter, all the social media stuff. And then I write for Dirty South Soccer, which is you can type it in, Dirty South Soccer, self-explanatory. And then our show, very similar to this one, is at Scarves, the letter N Spikes. Scarves and Spikes.
Oh.
Yep.
Well, I have to check you out. Brian, how can people find you in Charlotte if they don't know about you already?
Yeah, so you can find me on Twitter at Bam Mauer Media. You can also find all my written content at topin90.com. And then you can also find my new show, my MLS fantasy show that I do with Blake from MLS Gone Wild at Dropping Points. We drop the G, so it's drop in points, but the show is dropping points. Dropping points got taken, so it's drop in points as the Twitter handle. So you can find our show there. We just actually knocked out a brand new episode last week for breaking down week 3, and it's been going really well. So check it out if you're interested in MLS fantasy.
There you go.
Hold on. Tio. So, Tyler has the N without the G, and Brian, you have the G without the N.
No, I have the drop in. I have the ing without the G.
Damn, man.
Well, to make it, I mean, in our defense, somebody, I think it's like a knitting website or something, had scarves and spikes. So we had to use the N for our Twitter. Everything else is scarves and spikes, but we got shafted on the Twitter one.
Tyler, you gotta get together with those people. You gotta find out who those people are, get them to knit something for you. You gotta do it, man. You gotta
hook me up with a scarf. You know,
seriously, dude. Hand knitted scarf from the people who had almost the same name as you. That would be dope as shit.
But you got to track them down. I think they're like 85 living in middle America somewhere, but I'm gonna get them.
Yeah.
Damn it, middle America.
Hey, find the closest team, whatever, like Columbus or whatever, and just go and see a game and then get that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So JT, how can people find us if they don't already know?
CLTFC Fan TV, for the fans, by the fans. Damn it. And after every game on the east side, the gate that has the big LED screen, we are out there doing fan reactions every Wednesday night, live here, and on away games we have many live shows. Check us out, man. Just some newbie fan, some good fans that know all sorts of shit, just having a good time. Let's go CLTFC. Let's do this.
That's it. So see you guys Saturday bright and early at the tailgate. Get your Bojangles, get your coffee, sweet tea or whatever. See you
Waffle
Saturday.
House.
Waffle
Go
House.
Pack. Go Pack. ACC.